his disposal. He has the judiciary, the National Assembly, the DSS, the EFCC, the ICPC, the police, the army. Everything is at his everything is at his disposal right now. Yes. And a couple of persons have complained that these institutions are within his grasp to utilize as he likes and mutilate when he wants. How will this coalition, with this set of persons, how will they unseat this?
Thank you very much. I think the right word is everything appears to be at his disposal. Everything appears. I mean, he's a human being. And anybody who reads the book he writes on politics is wasting his time.
Really?
This was a man who lost election in Lagos State at the last presidential elections. He lost in Lagos. He was beaten fair and square, even on Bodilon Street where he lives, in the entire state. He lost. His party chairman, the hierarchy of the party lost. So, I mean, it's like, will you go and ask an armed robber to write a book on how to steal or whatever? No, you don't do that kind of stuff. Yes, he's there. But even he himself knows he didn't win any elections. He knows, I mean, he was placed there.
Do you think the United States may influence how the outcome of the 2027 elections will be, like what happened in 2015?
Well, I mean, it's still a long way away. And then
most times they're usually part of it.
No, let us look at within ourselves. Okay. Let us not keep on looking at externalizing our problems.
All right.
Bola Tinubu is president and is living in Abuja. He's in Nigeria. So the problem is in Nigeria and we can tackle it by ourselves.
Okay.
If there is need for any externalization, that will be done. But what I will not want or support is this madness of everybody trying to go to Chatham House to try to announce their agenda. It's nonsense. And I hope that this time around, those who will be contesting knock it out of the system. Because it's actually meaningless.
Okay.
Yes. So with regards to the elections, yes, Tinubu thinks it's unfallable. He thinks he has the DSS. He thinks, but look, all those guys in those outfits have family members. They have relations. And we know, yes, if you've been giving so much money or whatever, what of the person living next door to you?
Okay.
How is it faring? So yes, he may think he has everything under his control, but when the time comes, he will realize that this is Nigeria. And like I keep on giving that example. In 2014, PDP was boasting that they will be in office for the next 60 years. That is the same kind of nonsense the APC are exuding now. That they will be there forever, that they have everything. You have people like Akpabio singing in public. You have the SA to the media, on media, talking all kind of crap. When the time comes, Nigeria will happen to them.
Barrister, the leadership of the Obedient Movement under its interim national coordinator Yunusa Tanko has come out to officially say that there is no agreement between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar. You remember, in fact, just yesterday, right on this platform, we've been talking about it, and a lot of Nigerians have been calling to express their own purview or perception to the supposed joint tickets of Atiku and Peter Obi running as a vice. Yunusa Tanko has officially come out to say there is none of that, and there's no such conversation even ongoing between the both of them. And he said that it's a mere fiction of people's imagination, as discussions on that have not taken place between Atiku and Obi. But he said the topic hasn't even come up, that people are merely speculating based on what transpired in 2019 as they were partners then. But that he said that the discussions currently ongoing is about the polls ahead of 2027, and to ensure that the institutions that were utilized by the current government to forestall or hoodwink or marginalize the voting bloc and the process does not repeat itself in 2027. And that's one of the very core fundamentals of the formation of the coalition, to ensure that all hands are on deck to ensure that doesn't take place. But conversations are ongoing. Now, Peter Obi has written his own proposal.
Okay.
To be in charge for 4 years. Now the coalition needs to get themselves, properly fundamentalized, stabilized, and then the process begins. Process begins in selecting national executive members, board of trustees members. All of that will take place before they'll be through that convention. When it is time, they will look for a presidential candidate. Now we have Atiku Abubakar, part of that coalition, who is also a presidential aspirant. Obviously he's there for that. I don't know if he's there to be an elder statesman, but we already know what his intention is. Okay. Now you also have El Rufai, but although El Rufai is given the perception of I may not be a presidential candidate, but I want to work to unseat Tinubu in 2027, so he may back up. Now Malami has not really disclosed to us if he's going, but they need his financial backing. You understand? So Tambuwal, you remember Tambuwal too. So these are persons that have interest. Peter Obi has now submitted his own four-year bid.
Yes.
Do you think it will be considered? A lot of persons are afraid for him. They feel, number one, his geographical location, that is where he comes from. Number two, that the north is always very greedy, and they don't know the kind of conditions that will give him for them to consider him, because it's not really easy to convince those guys about somebody from the southeast. It all has to do with how they're able to rally vigorously around him. Number three, Barry said, another important thing I want us to also bear in mind is this elements there who may want to say, okay, you know what, you don't necessarily have to be on the board. If you're all about interests of Nigerians and you're not desperate for power, why don't you bring a neutral person completely unexpected? What do you think would happen if Peter Obi decides to officially leave Labour Party, comes into this coalition, is not a presidential candidate or whatever? Will the obedience support whoever emerges from this coalition?
See, people have to be very careful so that they don't scuttle a coalition before it even sets up.
Okay.
I mean, all these pronouncements about submitting a 4-year proposal.
He has written a proposal,
I know.
yes.
I mean, about not into negotiation with anybody. Those are being a bit arrogant.
Really?
Yes. Why I'm saying a bit arrogant is this. You are in a coalition.
Okay.
I mean, and you have to be open to different propositions from others. It's not a one-man coalition because one man cannot make it. It's got to be there must be mutual agreements on on the way forward. So those who are from the side should not try to scuttle it before it starts. Yes, the ideal things will be done. Those who are forming this coalition are aware of the sentiments being expressed, are aware of what Nigerians feel, and I think they will take all this into consideration before making up their minds regarding the structure of the organization. Like I said earlier, it may not even end up being this ADC, because if this same government, like we know, they have an almost an infinite capacity to do evil. I mean, if they can put in so much to see the downfall of this ADC. So there should be
even before it even kickstarts.
Good. There should be always a plan B. So when you lay all your eggs in one basket, you run the risk of maybe at the end of the day you not even have a plan B. So there is always a plan B, and I'm sure those who are even forming this coalition have a plan B.
All right.
And I do not subscribe to the sentiment that Northerners they want a particular kind of stake in this issue before they concede. Everybody is feeling the pain.
Well, the influencers are flouting that line of thought.
Forget the influencers. They can talk all the crap. They have one vote. The Nigerians who are feeling the pain of this evil regime are there. They're all out there, and they know what is best for them. And I also don't agree with the foundation you laid that the president has captured the Southwest. Which Southwest?
Are you sure?
No, we are here in Lagos, and we know even when you get into public transport, go into public places, you see that the anger, the vehemence at which they talk about this man called Tinubu is scary. So he doesn't. This was a man who even lost his election in Lagos.
Well, 2023 is not going to be 2027 now.
No, what I'm trying to say is this: do not take anything for a given or for granted that he's captured the Southwest. No, the Southwest is also feeling the pangs of the evil this guy has unleashed. Yes, if you are a minister or you are the brother or sister of a minister, yes, you might be having a lot of
you know why that conversation is ongoing.
But if you are the average man, the Jack Thomas on the street, you are still feeling the pain that all Nigerians are feeling.
Are you aware that the governorship, let's say local government elections in July 12, when they were held